My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast.
Hunter Valley edition.
It is the Hunter Valley edition.
Oh, what a joyful place to be.
We finished up the last episode with booze and we start this one with the same thing.
Indeed.
Thank you for everyone who listened and gave us feedback on that.
Drunk Kristie is a delight.
Apparently Drunk Kristie's a hit.
She is, but she's just had a little break.
Yeah.
Probably a longer break.
Drunk Kristie needed a little bit of a break. But look,
she's gone to rehab to dry out.
Look, we needed that. But I think it was an episode that was needed.
Absolutely. And I'm glad I was half tipsy.
You were the voice of the people.
I was. The voice of the drunken people.
You represented, is that what the living for the love of the common people? Kristie is the voice of the drunken people. So it was an episode that we didn't plan on doing, but it was demanded and it was fun. It was fun. So
you got me.
All right, so let's get into tonight's episode. Now they've advertised this week as being Royal Week.
Royal. Da, 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 da. Oh, that's the president.
That's President.
No, that's God save our gracious Queen.
Well, you went through your boring songs and got there eventually. So, I
wanna be royal.
I was about to go there and you beat me to it. I love the way you know all the words too. I wonder if they're going to cook for Lord this week. And
I hope so.
And I asked this question because it's Royal Week, but apparently they don't get to Prince Charles until Wednesday. So, like tonight, they did things like tenuously say the second challenge was cook a meal fit for a king.
Surely they could have gotten those tenuous royals. You know, the ones that are like 1,222nd place in line to the throne.
What, Barry from Lithgow?
Yes, Barry from Lithgow.
So Barry from Lithgow could have come in and you know, if enough people die, Barry's the king. You know what they missed out on?
What?
I just thought about it. What they missed out on was they could have gone to Tasmania and they could have found some of Mary's relatives.
Yes!
That would have worked quite well.
As royals?
Maybe someone who just went to school with Mary.
What about the person at Arnott's who invented the Royale biscuit?
That would work too.
Yes.
There were all sorts of things. Anyone who plays Royale tennis.
Yeah, they could have got a drag queen in because there's a queen.
They could have got a drag queen in.
Oh my God.
They could have drag king in.
A drag king. Oh, a drag king who plays Prince Harry or something.
They could have done so much with this. They could have someone who's really good at chess.
Because they use kings.
Kings and queens. There were so many options, and what we went with was tenuous.
They could have got a couple of old actors from the 70s. You know, the Dukes of Hazzard.
We're really.
They could have got Will Smith in.
Oh no,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
We're moving on before Kristie goes through the rest of television history. So we started tonight with
Monica Bellucci. She played Queen Margot.
Shit. So we started off anyway tonight with George basically being the one responsible for giving everybody in the kitchen $10K. And wasn't it a refreshing change to see George Columbaris handing out money to people in the kitchen?
It was, it might not have gone to the people who really deserved it.
Didn't go to the right ones?
Not the right ones. I'm not talking about the top 10 and their place in MasterChef. Yeah, they've deserved that. Asterisk there, okay? But his staff, the people who matter.
Yeah, look, and just quickly, there were a few people, I think, who read the tweet that I put out without context and just started laying into me like I was defending George Columbaris. Anyone who listens to this podcast knows the last thing I am likely to do in my life is defend George Columbaris.
George Columbaris could be responsible for getting Trump sacked. He could completely, oust the Liberals from government and, free the refugees from Manus and everywhere else. He could, end world poverty, end world hunger, and you know what? Still wouldn't
make up for him.
No, still wouldn't save his reputation.
What I do want to comment on, speaking of reputations, one person who nearly got a reputation because she wasn't thinking when she said what she said.
Sarah.
But they get to the mystery box and they go, what might be in there? And Sarah goes, it's a puppy. And everyone on Twitter went, you're going to cook a puppy?
Oh, honey, we know what you meant, but my mind just went straight to Cruella de Vil. It's like, puppy.
The thing is, you know that everything on that bench is going to get cooked.
How would you cook a puppy?
I wouldn't.
Damn.
It's that simple. You're not going to fool me into that one, Stanford. I've been around you too long. I know this. So what we had instead was
How to cook puppies.
What we had
hold on.
instead.
How to cook 4 puppies.
Yes.
Sorry.
How to cook 40 puppies. Anyway, moving on. So they had tonight, first of all, the 3 most appealing dishes, not the 5, because we're culling it down to 10 now. Yep. Now, forget everything else that was in the box.
Yep. Kalettes.
What the fuck is a Kalette?
I think they're a band from the 90s. Kalette.
Kalette is going to rock you.
I think they teamed up with Tammy Wynette.
Hang on a minute.
One thing.
Hang on a minute. No. That's KLF, it turns out.
No Moo Town for the Kalettes?
No Moo Town for the Kalettes. Kalette just sounds like something that was invented.
Like broccolini.
Yeah, no, but like even broccolini you can sort of see vaguely. Look, Kalette just sounds like something that was invented by someone who wasn't pretentious enough.
What do you call it? It's Bob from Lithgow.
Bob from Lithgow?
He was
Barry from Lithgow.
Barry from Lithgow, right? And his cousin Bob, who's 129th in line to the throne, decided that they would, pick their kale early because the frost was coming in. Because as you might know, Lithgow is really fucking cold. And they picked it early, and there was only baby kales. So they put it on the roadside stand as Kalettes.
Is it a feminine? Is Kalette the feminine of kale? Like Smurfette?
Oh, they live in like a little kale village.
Oh no, there's nothing more terrifying to me than the idea of
Papa
a kale
kale.
village.
Greedy kale, jokey kale.
Brings a new meaning to the term Emerald City. Anyway, so I don't even care what was in the rest of the stuff in that box was. Kalette was the thing.
It was gin.
Because gin was good, and we'll come to the gin in a moment because gin was really good.
Yeah.
But what I found fascinating was
Yogurt.
everybody talking about Kalette like they were old pros after 5 minutes of going, what the hell is this? They all started talking about it like, we know this flavour and we know what to do with it. It's like, no, you don't. You seriously, you're making it up.
The Kalette may as well have walked in on Tuesday night to, battle for immunity.
Exactly.
Please welcome to the Masterchef kitchen,
Kalette. And everyone would have gone, oh my God, I love Kalette's recipes. I can't believe I'm here taking on Kalette in this challenge.
It sounds like the name. When you see like dance moms and stuff, it's like one of the names, one of their daughters. It says, my daughter Kalette. And
there will be children called Kalette now.
Oh my God.
My other thing is too, I would love to see somebody in production just fuck with everybody's heads once. And I want them to like bring somebody in who is completely fabricated, but they've faked up this Instagram account and they get them to come in and they're like, oh my God, I so love them. A bit like when Jimmy Kimmel goes to like festivals and gets everyone on the microphone and makes up the names of the bands.
The Ali G of chefs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel does it with every festival every year where he makes up all the band names and they interview people about,
That's right.
aren't you looking forward to, oh yeah, no, I love their music. Their indie phase is really good and I'm really, I saw them live once and it was in a small tavern and it was really cool. I'd like them to do that with one of the chefs coming in. Just to see how genuine these people are in terms of knowledge versus how much of this is food wankery of the highest order they're making up. So that'd be awesome.
They've got to make them like German and they don't talk. It's just all food and eyebrows. They've got to have very, very like emotive eyebrows.
So we had a couple of issues tonight with this challenge.
Yep.
One was no one knows what the fuck Kalette is.
Yep.
Secondly,
there was no puppies in the box.
Third, Jess turned around and realised that she had absolutely no idea with savoury and her solution was to make another parfait. Seems legit. Reese.
Yes?
Reese decided to go with a granita. Again. Because we haven't seen that consistently over time.
Well, it could have made a smoothie or a Kalette smoothie.
Well, I put out the idea of, after Reese's little issue last week where he managed to get himself through to immunity off a melted plate of chocolate. I assume it was chocolate. You put forward it was something else, but anyway.
That's a cow
after a puddle, I put forward just make a smoothie with the Kalette and then just pour it directly onto the plate.
And if there's enough gin in it, they won't notice.
Just get them drunk. Right, go the Maggie beer. Mary Berry Maggie beer. Get them drunk. They don't notice it.
Booze. Booze, bitches.
Samira.
Oh.
Now, I love Poor Samira, because she doesn't like gin.
She had a spoonful.
Her quote was, "I'm not big understanding alcoholic drinks." And I just thought that was so adorable because she's trying to work out how to use the flavour of gin.
Yes.
And no idea.
She had a spoonful and the look on her face is like, you've just stripped the lining of my throat. Oh, hun.
So you had Khan, who decided to use the gin as the base for a butter sauce.
Yum.
And
brilliant idea.
And even Khan afterwards was going, that's really, I didn't think that was going to work that well, but it was like 4... They used 4 ingredients in that butter sauce. Gin was the main one that he used, and apparently it was really rich and it was absolutely beautiful.
We're all cooking with gin and Kalette tomorrow, aren't we?
Apparently.
So
we are now.
Yes, so he deep fried the Kalette. I think he roasted some.
Well, that was where George told him that he made the Kalette healthy. He's like, he
I feel so healthy.
Fried it.
No, George isn't healthy. He's healthy.
He's healthy. Sorry, my bad. George was healthy. And he deep fried it.
This salad that's been battered and deep fried makes me feel healthy.
Makes me feel Scottish. So, now Kristen made a mint and coriander pesto with crisp bread. Now, this gave me one of my favourite George quotes I think I've ever heard, where he looked at Kristen and went, "You know what you've done there? You've Masterchef'd it up." Anybody at home who has the answer to what Masterchef'd it up means, answers on the back of a postcard.
I know. I've got one suggestion. It means that you've put forward a dish that's going to be incorrectly perceived by everyone around it.
That's it. That's got it. That's got it done. Khan made what he called textures of Kalette, which, if you think about it, says absolutely fuck all about the dish.
But
they said that it was pretty, but it was bursting with flavour. Like, you can't have something that looks good and also tastes good. And more importantly, the Kalette's the hero. Nobody knows what the fuck Kalette is, but it's now heroing dishes.
There's a hero
in a really small green part. So, and then our favourite one personally was Samira. Samira made what she basically referred to as breakfast. And the comment was that nobody makes bread quite as light as you do. And watching her make flatbread.
She's a fucking flatbread fiend.
She might be a flatbed truck fiend too. We don't know. But
maybe.
I'm going to possibly not. I like when her
maybe
and Sashi...
she could sell flatbread on a flatbed truck.
Could. I did like the way that when Sashi and her were both making flatbread, she looked at Sashi and went, "I shouldn't have told you how to do this." So, but as I said, I would take, in a flatbread off, I would take Samira any time.
Because as a lot of people are commenting on Twitter, you can get the same recipe, but some people just have a knack.
It's like we talked about on, sorry to bring it up for those people at home who hate this, Bake Off. Yeah. But pumpkin scones. Yes. You can either make them or you can't.
Yep.
Regardless of having the recipe, you can either make them.
You're either blessed by the scone gods or you are cursed.
And we put this out the other day on Twitter, and sure enough, people are going, "I can't make pumpkin scones. I can make scones. I can't make pumpkin scones."
Maybe they pissed off pumpkins.
Maybe they are. So Samira's was probably our favourite, even though Khan did go through on textures of Kalette, and good for Khan. Samira's was probably our favourite.
Yes.
Now this... brings us to something that we've made mention on social media. Every Sunday night episode,
from now until the grand final,
we are going to be putting up on the Facebook page, The Washing Up, it's on Facebook, on the Facebook page, after the episode goes up, there will be a thread put up there about the mystery box of the week.
Yes.
So we will select our mystery box of the week. Not necessarily the one that wins, the one that we really want to see some answers back for.
Yes. So what it is that we, the other day, we got the amazing opportunity to go to the Ungermann Brothers and not only just sample their delicious ice cream, but to hang out with Ben and his lovely wife and daughter as well, and just have a great old time. You might have seen some pics and a video on there. Yeah, so
Ben and his partner Alicia and his daughter and
Ellie.
And it was absolutely a wonderful experience to get to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Up at Ungermann Brothers in Ipswich. And if you're in Ipswich, go.
Yes. And at the end of it, he's gone, "By the way, I've got a gift for you guys." And it was a signed apron. It was so cool. And we've got a picture of it. But Chris and I were thinking, well, we've been really blessed. We want to share the love. and we'd like to give it as a gift to one of our listeners.
Now, we want to make it very plain. This is a gift.
It's a gift.
Okay, because the second it becomes a contest, there are rules.
No, we don't. We're not into contests.
We're not, clearly. We're watching Masterchef.
We're watching Masterchef, which is just a journey of two people while others leave.
Yeah, while everyone leaves and Sachi and Reese just goes to the grand final. That's what it is. It's like Journey to the West, really. But Masterchef and Journey to the West, okay, we'll do that later on. But I've just had an idea. So
Why?
So,
Okay. So anyway.
the nature of Masterchef was irrepressible. So what we're doing is we are going to every week put up a thread with our mystery box of the week. What we want you to do is, first of all, we want you to like our Facebook page and also Ungermann Brothers Facebook page. That's really easy to do.
Yeah, like.
Like those. And you're going to need Ungermann Brothers, because what we want you to do is, for our box of the week, we want you to work out which ice cream
of the Ungermann Brothers
you would pair with that. Now, you can use that either with
the dish
or to follow the dish.
Or even pre the dish.
Or pre the dish. And we want you to explain why.
Because we know that all of us are Twitter and, backseat judges here.
Yeah.
We've all got our own opinions of how things should be done.
So we want to know how you think it should be done.
And we think that you've got some pretty cool ideas.
Yeah, so we want to know how you think it should be done. So
you could be serious, you could be ridiculous. We don't really give a shit.
Exactly. We have the more, probably the funnier the better.
Yeah. Yes.
But what we're going to do is, at the end of the series, as we get towards the grand final, we're going to take all of the responses that we get every week and pick one out to luckily win the prize.
Yeah.
The gift, not the prize.
It's not a prize.
Gift. It's a gift. It's a gift.
Because we can't. We were debating how we could give it out. Like, do we just cut it into squares and give it out to each?
We
listener?
did actually contemplate cutting it into squares and then getting you all to meet somewhere and put it together.
Yes, much like the Shazam.
Yeah, like Shazam. Everyone puts the rings together and suddenly, wow,
and ice cream appears.
Or Voltron.
Or Voltron.
It's far more like Voltron.
Yeah,
but we probably thought that the apron would be of much more use to somebody who gets it.
Yeah, and we didn't want to play favourites and just pick someone.
No, we don't want to play favourites.
We're not the Masterchef judges.
No, we're not the Masterchef judges. We're going to do this fairly.
Yeah.
And we will even film.
And maybe the person we pick didn't even fucking want it. They might go, not a Ben fan, not an ice cream fan. I'm lactose intolerant, bitches. What are you doing to me?
I'm lactose intolerant. I don't want an apron from a MasterChef contestant. I'm lactose intolerant. So what we're going to do is, and look, we'll even film pulling the name out, pulling what we pull out of the hat to give away our gift.
Yeah.
So we'll
maybe
make
we could
sure
get one
that
of the
it's
cats
above.
To help him.
Maybe we could. So we'll make sure it is completely above board and you can all see it. But it's just a bit of fun, and also, again, go and like Ungermann Brothers and go and have a look at their ice cream flavours. And if you happen to be anywhere near Ipswich or you know anybody who's near Ipswich, tell them to go.
Yeah.
It is 100% worth that trip.
And you can check out what he's doing. He posts to Instagram quite often, so you can check out
There's some amazing flavours. Food envy all the way.
Yes.
And we've even put up a little video that we did reviewing 2 new flavours of ice cream that he was trialling.
Now, to be honest, it could sound like we're blowing smoke up everyone's ass about this, but genuinely, going there, the ice cream's amazing quality and the flavours are fucking kick-ass.
And we're not being paid to say it before anyone goes, "Who's being paid?" It's not an ad. We're legitimately not being paid. This is
not cash for comment.
No, this actually relates perfectly to MasterChef and how winning MasterChef isn't the only path.
No.
And if you look at what Ben's doing currently with Ungermann Brothers ice cream, it's
an example of what so many contestants have done in the past as well.
Yeah.
It's been a way to discover their passion, refine their passion, and find a pathway to explore it.
To use a phrase that I really do hate them using, but it's about discovering what your food dream is and running with that. And look, Ben probably exemplifies that from the last series. I mean, there's a couple of other people doing that too. Sarah's been doing that. Sarah Chung and those sorts of people.
Yeah.
So check it all out. Again, have a bit of fun on the Facebook page as well. Give us your best pairing of ice cream to Samira's breakfast dish that she did off the back of the mystery box.
Yes.
So moving on. So Khan gets his chance to go to immunity. He goes up to the gantry. Everyone else is standing there and they go, right, cook whatever you want. It must be fit for a king. Now, at this point is where we all went.
Tenuous link to a royal.
Yeah, at this point is when everyone on Twitter suddenly went, they're out of ideas. They've got nothing. And
although, what I like about... Okay, so what I see is tonight's things are starting to sort the wheat from the chaff because, example, the mystery box put up all ingredients that there's no protein. There's nothing in it is going to play to anyone's known strengths.
Yeah.
And they had to use every single ingredient. Now, this next one, cook whatever you want. It's like, that is fucking difficult because you have got the choice of everything and only 60 minutes. So...
Look, I like the idea of growth.
Yes.
And I like the idea of, and a lot of people talked about this, and we did see a bit of it, of everyone having the chance to demonstrate growth or not demonstrate growth.
And there are obviously people who were prepared, like Reese said, I've got a dish in mind that I want to show. Kristen was quite clear on what she wanted to do straight off. Even Jess had something she wanted to do straight off.
Yeah.
And all of us had a fucking heart attack.
Because Reese and Jess both went savoury, and that was a bit of a shock. And then Chloe didn't make noodles, and that again was a bit of a shock, although in hindsight for Chloe, she probably should have made noodles. In all honesty, she probably should have made noodles. And I would have criticised the hell out of her for it, but,
But this is the point in which you need to put people under the pump because, technically, what do we have? Maybe 3 to 4 weeks left?
The issue for me, you can hope so, but I don't think so.
Masterchef.
The big issue for me with this, in terms of the idea of growth and making what you want and putting people under pressure, though, is the judges have to be prepared to go with them on this journey.
Yeah. Now,
we need to have a bit of a discussion. Now, luckily, it's not the size rant that normally has to happen, but we do need to raise something tonight. So Kristen decides she's going to do a dessert, which, again, I would...
Fine.
I would have liked to see her do a savoury personally. Like, for example, Sashi made Indian. We'll talk about it later. Sashi made Indian and Samira made her traditional Azerbaijani. Mm-hmm. I criticised Sashi and said, you need to stop making Indian because you've made it a hell of a lot.
Yep.
Same thing with Samira, even though both of them were really good. I expect those to be good. I'd like to see you do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to step outside of your just that. You need to make something else. And Kristen turns around and goes, I'm going to make a dessert. I'm going to do poached pears with goat cheese sauce. Now, at that point...
It's a goat's cheese mousse.
Goat's cheese mousse, sorry. At that point...
And a ginger nut crumble.
Gary Meehan turns around.
Yes.
And says to her... Oh, George turns around and goes, what's your views on pears?
No, poached
pears. And Gary's like, I don't like poached pears. And then they made this big deal about Gary doesn't like poached pears. You are a judge.
You're being paid for this, Gary. You're not a fucking toddler.
Now, we've talked a lot, again, we go back to Bake Off.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie Beer.
Hates chili.
Hates chili. Well, same thing with Mary Berry, though, on the British Bake Off. There are things she doesn't like that she will eat because she's a judge on a show.
Booze, yes. Chili, no.
And judge it fairly.
Yes.
Right? Maggie Beer hates chili.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot stand it. But...
Also wasn't a fan of pecans, we found out.
No, again, we found that one out.
One of our favourite discoveries is as you go along is finding out things that Maggie Beer doesn't like.
And interestingly enough, the person who did the pecans that week won immunity. No, not immunity, won the challenge, won the week.
Yes.
We're in the wrong show. Won the week, right? So Barb won that week.
Yes.
For Bake Off, for Star Baker, with something that Maggie Beer hates.
You know why? Because she knows what she's there to do.
She knows what the texture should be. She knows what the flavour profile should be.
Yeah,
she understands the way the food should taste. And for her, she's judging what it should be, not do I particularly like this ingredient.
It's like if I had chosen to be a food critic and was being paid for it and was served peas... I have no place to go, I don't like peas, I'm not going to eat those.
No, I'm going to eat them.
I'm going to eat them and I'm going to judge them fairly. Why? Because that's what I'm being paid to do.
Yep.
Unless they're offering to cook me a puppy.
But this goes back again to one of the biggest problems with MasterChef this season is that we're at the whim of what the judges want. I mean, for example, this cake pop is a bit, Stodgy. Well,
it's too dense.
It's dense. Well, that's the point.
It's dense?
That's the point of a cake pop.
Yeah.
The idea that, why don't you make, again, from the same episode, why didn't you just make baklava? Well...
because she didn't fucking want to. She doesn't fucking have to.
I had it in my head that honey was there and you've made phyllo before, so I just assume you should make that. Well, bad luck, she didn't. So get over it and judge things fairly. And again, tonight, Kristen ran that risk with regards to her poached pears. Now, thankfully for Kristen,
Yes.
they love them.
Yep.
And that's because her
She
technique...
fucking knows what she's doing.
Because her technique is sound and she knows exactly what she's doing.
Kristen just, polished her crown. If it was royalty, kicking off royalty week, because she's a fucking queen.
Now, and
if I was her, I would have been like, kiss my gorgeous fat ass, and I'll see you on the other side. Suck on a pear, Gary.
Well said. So, more importantly with that, though, I mean...
Just sit down and shut the fuck up.
A couple of people brought it up tonight on Twitter. Kira brought it up on Twitter, for example. At what point are they going to acknowledge that it's not Jess, but it's actually Kristen that's the dessert queen?
Yep.
And I hope it happens at some point. I can't guarantee it will.
Maybe after tomorrow night when Jess flounders.
We'll find out. Anyway.
But she's got some good basic skills in terms of making chili and stuff. And if she's, given the recipe so she can balance shit out...
So speaking of Jess and flounder,
it was a red emperor.
It was a red emperor, I know, but it's still fish. So now the reason why
imagine her now like the Little Mermaid.
Now the reason why she did this dish was because she decided to pay homage. She decided to pay homage
to Diana.
To Diana, and the way that she paid homage to Diana was to basically do Diana's recipe.
Yes.
Which is not so much homage as a blatant rip-off.
See, okay, if that was homework, right? Now
it's plagiarism.
Get that on your plagiarism.
You know
checker?
where she changed it up though?
Where?
By making a sambal so hot that she blew everybody's heads off. And
so it's like plagiarism but making it worse.
And then we had a problem because on one hand, making that sambal is a massive error. And I had a few discussions with people online tonight who were trying to say to me, she didn't do anything that bad to go to elimination. If you listen to what the judges said on feedback,
they killed the flavour.
They said that after the first mouthful of fish with sambal, you can no longer taste anything on the plate. Now, if you kill the flavour of a dish, that's just as bad as not making it. That would be like saying, you cooked this beef perfectly and then you poured poison all over it. Right? But the beef is perfect, so you're okay. No. You poured poison all over it. You ruined what you did.
Yeah.
Same thing is true when you put a sambal underneath that is so hot that everyone just goes, can't cope with this, there's no more flavour left.
Yeah.
Right?
Because heat is just another layer of flavour, and you use it to either enhance the flavour, to give a bit of a kick, and just, trigger the neurons in people's heads.
Exactly.
But you don't want to, just ruin it.
So it was an error. They said it was a small error. I think it's a bit of a bigger error.
Do you think she heard me when I was saying, look, if I was Huda, I would have just thrown a ghost chili in it?
She might have.
She might have.
You never know. That might have actually been what the problem was there.
Oh, Jess is silent. Good protest.
Could be. So, Brendan made a bouillabaisse with lobster. Now, a couple of people pointed out that he's done lobster a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of think that maybe it's because he's worked out he's not paying for it.
Oh, yeah. If I was in there, it'd be like fucking truffle oil.
Everything.
It's like last year.
Saffron, truffle oil. It was when they went to Japan.
Was it Carly?
And they went off and got the most expensive cuts of beef. Was it Carly? No, I don't think it was Carly, but it was... they went off and got the most expensive cut of beef they could possibly find. And even Gary was like, well done.
Well done.
Ben went off and got all their sake and came back with the expensive stuff. Yeah. Everyone worked out they weren't paying for it.
Someone got real wasabi, didn't they?
Yeah, now he's been doing lobster a fair bit.
It's like that Lonely Island. I'm sorry. When they just started singing about Japan and all this shit. Most expensive sushi restaurant in Japan. So that their label had to pay for them to go there and film the video clip.
So Brenda's done lobster a bit.
Yes.
But, look, he does it well, but it might be time to do something else.
Broaden your horizons, scampi.
Exactly.
You've got prawns.
And you just want someone to cook scampi.
It's scampi.
You just want scampi. All right, Samira.
Scott's in me coming out, yes.
Now Samira made her chicken and rice and dried fruit and spices, her traditional dish.
Yes.
And...
looks delicious.
It looked delicious. As I said, I would rather that she made something that wasn't Azerbaijani, just to extend herself out and demonstrate skills that we know she has. Same as Sashi with his Indian, with his chicken biryani. Like, we get it. We know you can do that, and we know you have these skills. What I would like to see, though, is I would like to see them expand them out.
However, like, if you look at it from, like, a cultural standpoint, in terms of skills and stuff, like, yeah, the flavour profiles might be from their tradition and stuff, but the skill set in them are still skills that go across.
But that's what I want to see. I want to see them apply those skills across.
Yeah.
The other thing is, too, we can't realistically criticise somebody who makes a dessert every week and doesn't do a savoury dish.
And not criticise people who
just sticks in the one area of food and goes, I'm going to make Indian every week, for example, or I'm going to make Azerbaijani every week. Like, at this point, as we said, you get a pass for the first few weeks on that. But after the first few weeks, you have to expand.
And the thing is, like, Sashi is actually a really talented cook.
Yeah, and so is Samira. And, you know, justice for Samira may finally be on the horizon.
Oh, fingers fucking crossed. Like, Khan's on fire this week, but Kristen's also very close, but Samira, I'm really gunning for her this week.
So, Reese. Now, Reese, I thought, was sort of paying homage to his last week's effort.
He's like, well, if I can serve a flat parfait.
I think he worked out what they like, and what they like is flat brown. So he did his duck breast with nasturtium and poured everything over
flowers. He's the flower queen.
He's the flower queen. Put the flowers over the top of it, and he put all that down, but it did look a little bit like a melted parfait. Obviously, the judges have something they love. Now, we'll go to Ben. We'll go to Ben, because I found Ben's a bit confusing. He got praised for what amazing flavours you've done here. It was prawns with a couple of bits of pumpkin and some bacon.
Yeah, well, everything's better with bacon.
It is, and I think that there was a deliberate focus this year, or this week, on not focusing on Ben.
Yeah,
They avoided him. It's almost like they knew there was blowback from Thursday, and in the editing this week, they barely mentioned Ben.
Well, Sashi as well was literally, like, hidden behind, like, Brendan's head in a couple of the shots.
Except when they got the man with a pin to say, "Oh, I feel really bad that I don't have two pins. I'm missing, having a second pin." And like the guy who was safe, complaining about the fact that he only has one immunity pin and doesn't have two anymore.
Let's get out the violins, shall we?
It was annoying.
So there's victims of Cobram, and then there's people with only one immunity.
We didn't get to mention that, but in the first box they pulled out Cobram, and I did wonder if Brendan had a bit of PTSD. So then we get to Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
Now, the difference being that Sarah's collapsed sort of on itself, like Reese's did last week, but apparently there was no saving grace this week.
No, Gary was probably acting like a toddler before this, and she's probably thinking we need to get him some apple puree.
Apple puree.
Apple puree to shut him up, because he doesn't like the poached pears. But anyway, that was afterwards. But she apple pureed instead of creating her an apple.
And when they said, where did you do the apples there? Oh, I used an apple puree, and you heard all three of them go,
Oh, they fucking knew. Like,
yeah, but they ask those questions so they can make those noises.
Oh, I know. No, this is not so good.
It's set up to do that.
They go all true and true on it. It's pure.
So the idea of the honey mousse and the wattle seed sorbet didn't quite work for poor Sarah.
No, but the honey sorbet was apparently really good, and so were the tweels. So,
but it just,
yeah, maybe a different sorbet.
Okay,
maybe a sorbet. Maybe she should have served up
Kevin
femme sorbet.
All right, let's get to it. I've avoided it long enough. Chloe. Now,
I want to reinvent the cheese platter.
But the first thing I have to mention with Chloe is, and I'm going to congratulate her. It's a bit of a backhanded compliment. When they cut to Chloe with the camera and went, "What are you making?" and she looked at the camera straight down the barrel and went, "Well, I thought about doing noodles again," and laughed, which is code for, I know I'm making noodles too much.
Yeah. Cool.
So at least she is aware.
Awareness.
Doesn't mean she's not going to do it again.
No.
But she's at least aware of the problem. Now, what Chloe decided to do, as you put down, was reinvent the cheese board.
Oh, yes.
Again, to quote Sir Les Patterson, I sit on the cheese board, of course, and that can be really awkward, all those little flags get up your ass. Anyway.
I like a bit of cheese. Oh, I like some cheese.
Oh, I like some cheese. cheese power. It's good, clean, delectable power. So, get this, fans out there, that was for you. So...
Kim Spicer is a get this fan.
He's going to love this.
We've got one person that fucking gets it.
So one person right now is wetting themselves at home with laughter. So, blue cheese cheesecake. Now, when Chloe said that's what she was doing, my instant reaction was, really? Really?
We've had this before.
So, she tries it. Yeah. And it cracked. It looked like a day 5 whacker pitch. For the ashes, it just like the cracks. That's a bad thing. The cracks were really huge. Tony Gregg would have lost the key down there. It was a bit poor, and it sort of looked like it was trying to fall apart. It actually looked a bit more like curdled egg at some points.
It really looked like the quiches my mum used to make when we were kids. Like she'd occasionally get it good, and occasionally just not. like how Gary basically worded it was, you've made blue cheese worse.
Yeah, when the 2 bits of feedback that we got was Gary looks at her and goes, you've made blue cheese worse. And then Matt Preston doubles down with, you brought us everything we don't like about cheesecake. You've done a bad job.
Yeah, that was quite hard. But, if it's what they're tasting, it's what they're tasting.
So, immunity is obviously Khan, first of all, and then Kristen, Brendan, and Samira. Yep. Justice for Samira. Yes. And the pressure test is Chloe, Sarah, and Jess. And again, I think that's perfectly reasonable and rational for I'll speak properly soon. It's reasonable and rational for Jess to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, again, she crippled the flavour of her own
dish. Who would you put there instead of her? I mean, Ben got good feedback. Reese got good feedback.
They loved Ben's dish for some reason, which I couldn't quite work out.
They liked Sashi's dish.
I think the only other person you could have then put down there was Reese. And they weren't going to put Reese down there.
No.
So, yeah, and I think the bottom was pretty obvious. And they even said the bottom was pretty obvious. So the bottom was fairly obvious. Chloe, Sarah, and Jess, one of those will be going home. I know that a majority of people on Twitter, and we're not going to say who, but if you follow the hashtag on Twitter, there is somebody out of those 3 that everybody on Twitter seems to think should definitely go home.
Yeah. One thing I am pleased with, tomorrow night's not a fucking dessert.
I'm so happy it's not a dessert, it's a level playing field. Yeah. Now, this episode's been a little bit quieter because we're still in a hotel.
Yeah.
We don't want to annoy people, but guess what?
What?
Next episode, we're back to normal, bitches.
We're home. The cats will be insane. The dog will be barking because he's like, you've been away for a week.
And we'll be yelling like mad people.
Yeah.
So we'll be back to normal next week. Thank you for bearing with us on the trip. It's not, look, honeymoons come around once.
I know. Twice.
Twice in your case, but yeah. Honeymoons come around once.
Good honeymoons. Wonderful, amazing, non-stressful honeymoons. Only come around once.
Exactly. And we've had a lovely day in wine country, so we're more relaxed and we're more chill.
We literally hunter-gathered today.
We did.
We decided for dinner tonight, we just have it in-house. And today we just went around to went to Smokehouse, went to Fat Blokes, got cheese.
As always, Audrey Wilkinson.
Audrey Wilkinson, Chris's second
my home away from home. So with that in mind, we're going to leave you now. Remember to go over to Facebook. Follow the instructions we gave you earlier in the episode. Yeah, that's right. I'm not giving them to you now. Earlier in the episode, folks. Go back and listen to it. And then follow those instructions. The post will be up on Facebook for you to start commenting pretty much straight away.
Yep.
So have fun with that.
And don't forget to like our page in the Ungermann
Brothers.
Yep.
Like both of those. Now, we're only taking the answers on Facebook.
Yep.
Not on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if you send it to us on Twitter, it doesn't count.
Yeah, we like you, but not that much because that's going to be hard to kind of pull it all together. Make it fair.
You know what they say? Facebook is the place for gifts.
It is.
They never say that, but now they are.
Yeah.
Because we're saying that.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is. So until next episode when we're back to normal, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
We'll catch you all Wednesday night.
Bye-bye.